Y'all know what? I'd like Trump if it just weren't for all his dishonesty, the 40,000 documented lies, it's just too much deceit, Oh, well, but then you got all his criminal activity, defraud and charity, stealing classified documents, insurrection, treason, 34 felonies, whew. He's a definition of corruption. But if it weren't for that, man, I'd like Trump, But then you got all that racism. He's leading the white supremacist, white nationalist movement, sexual assault, raping women and all that kind of shit, man. But you know what? If it weren't for that, I guess I'd like Trump. It's just a lot of shit, Now that I think about it, he's, the fact that he's a Russian asset and that he's single-handedly destroying our relationship with all of our allies, but if it weren't for that, I'd like Trump. But then, on second thought, you got the fact that he's destroying and defunding every single federal safety net and service that the American people have to protect us. But, if it weren't for that, I'd like Trump. But then, now that I think about it, the fact that he's deporting brown folks that are here just for a better life, that work harder than anybody else, and by doing jobs that nobody else would do, actually helps our economy stay strong, And many of them people are being arrested, detained, deported without any due process, evidence, court, jury, or judge. But if it weren't for that, I'd like Trump. But, the fact that he's almost intentionally destroying our economy, that he said he would fix groceries on day one, but he ain't done a damn thing for our economy. As a matter of fact, he just tried to make it worse. And he ain't done nothing for health care. He's making health care worse by making insurance and pharmaceutical companies easier for them to exploit us. And the fact that he's turned our government into an oligarchy. But you know what? If it weren't for that, I'd like Trump. Hell, but then you got the fact that he wants to raise poor people, middle people's taxes while lowering taxes for the super rich and giving corporate America and rich people and billionaires fucking welfare, And most of these companies' profits are through the roof. But if it weren't for that, I'd like Trump. But then you got the fact that Trump only allows loyalists and yes men and diaper lickers around him, putting our country in grave danger because he's not concerned with their competency or their ability to do their job, just their loyalty to him. The fact that he wants to defund Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security, which would cause hardship, suffering, and death to God knows how many people. People depend on that shit. And hell, Social Security we've already paid into. So if he cuts that, it'd be robbery. Well, hell, then you got the fact that he doesn't have the capacity to lose without screaming like a baby that he was robbed, that the election was rigged in 2020, the fact that he tried to steal the election in 2020, rather than simply concede like a human being. You got the fact that he says he's a Christian, but there is nothing in the man that points to Christianity, actually just the opposite. He's known for wild sex parties on Epstein's Island, probably with little fucking children, and the fact that he cheated on his wife with a porn star while she was pregnant, then tried to legally pay her off to keep her quiet about it. Hell, man, if it weren't for that, I'd like Trump. But then, you got the fact that he doesn't have the capacity to say, I'm sorry, or admit when he's wrong. When he fucks up, he always points a finger at somebody else and says that it's their fault, like a little baby, like a little child, like a toddler. You got the fact that he's anti-black, anti-woman's rights, anti-LGBTQ, anti-anything and everything that's not a straight white Christian male or a fucking billionaire. Then you got the fact that the man has zero humility, zero humanity, zero empathy, and the fact that he is a dangerous, diagnosed, malignant narcissist who is actively destroying America, its citizens, and our democracy. But you know what? I guess after all that, maybe I could like Trump, but I kind of feel like there's a couple hundred more things I forgot about. Shit.